Once upon a while, in a Larway fan, lived a beautiful girl named Rindercella. She lived with her mugly other and her two sad bisters. They made her do all of the housework. She had to scrub the dirty fireplace. She had to flop the moor. She had to wash the wishes. One day, an invitation came to the Ping's Callus to go off to a Bancy Fall to meet the Pransome Hints. Well, that mugly other and the two sad bisters, they got all gussied up and they went off to the Ping's Callus to the Bancy Fall in hopes that they would meet the Pransome Hints. Rindercilla just cried and she cried and she cried, 'cause all she had to wear was her ruddy dags. When Solomon Udden, poof, there was her Gary Fodmother. But who are you? I'm your Gary Fodmother. Didn't you hear me poof? I'm here to turn your ruddy dags into a beautiful mound, so you can go off to the Ping's Callus, to the Bancy Fall, and you can meet the Pransome Hints. Condition, you must leave before the strock strikes midnight. Poof! She was gone. She disappeared. Rindercella looked down at her ruddy dags, but they weren't ruddy dags anymore. They had changed into a beautiful bound. So off she went to the Ping's Callus, to the Bancy Fall, and at the doorway she met the Pransome Hints, and they danced, and they danced, and they lell in fove. Oh my! Solomon Udden, bong, 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 the strock kite midnight. Rindercella panicked. She ran out of there like her bustle was ablaze. She dashed to the stardom of the bears and she slopped her dripper. The Pransome Hints, he ran after her, but when he got to the stardom of the bears, all he could find was her slop dripper. The very next morning, he humped on his horse, and he rode for riles and riles around, looking for the beautiful girl who slopped her dripper. Eventually, he came to the house of Rindercella. But first, he had to try the slop dripper on the mugly other, and of course, it didn't did. And then he had to try the slop dripper on the two sad bisters, and it didn't did either. Finally, he got to try the slop dripper on Rindercella, and it did. So the two of them, they humped on his horse, and off they rode, and they lived happily ever after. Now, the story of the Maury is this. If you are a beautiful girl in a faraway land, and an invitation comes to the Ping's Callus to a Bancy Fall to meet the Pransome Hints, and your Gary Fodmother comes to change your ruddy dags into a beautiful bound, and off you go to the Ping's Callus to the Bancy Fall, and you meet the Pransome Hints, and you dance, and you dance, and you dance, and you loll in fove. Solomon Udden, the strock strikes midnight. Don't forget to slop your dripper.